Hi and welcome to this song tutorial. Today we're gonna take a look at Greensleeves from Jeff Beck's 1968 album Truth. Greensleeves is especially suitable for people who haven't been playing fingerpicking for very long but still want to get a bit more familiar with fingerstyle guitar. There's not too much happening with the left hand here, and the right hand doesn't have to play any fast picking patterns either, which is why you can actually learn this song relatively quickly. Let's just jump right in and move closer to the fretboard. In the intro, we move from a D minor chord with a chromatically descending bass line down to A, then play an A sus4 chord, and that completes the first 6 bars of the intro. Here it is slowly. The only tricky part is the section with the A sharp in the bass, where you have to fret both the first fret on the A string and on the high E string, while playing open strings in between. Specifically, you have to play the open D string and then reach up with your pinky to the 3rd fret. As you can see, this requires a bit of practice, and that slight stretch at this point is difficult for many beginners. In particular, make sure your pinky doesn't mute the high E string. That takes a bit of practice, but it's definitely manageable with some repetition, as you can see here. Now we begin with the main theme. We start with a D minor chord and then move to a G at 9 chord. After that we go through C major to A minor, D minor and E7, and finally add a short run. Here are the first 6 bars of the main theme played slowly. With the E7 chord, you'll notice in the second half of the bar that you also need to fret the 1st fret on the B string. I usually do this by slightly angling my index finger backward. That way I can fret both the G string and the B string at the 1st fret at the same time, and then easily move with my pinky from the 7th to the 6th without having to shift my index finger back and forth. Here's the full bar with the E7 chord played slowly. From there, we move on to A minor, and then to A minor with G in the bass. After that, everything starts over again with the D minor chord. This part is actually quite quick and easy to master. Just pay attention to the hammer-on in the small run from D minor to E minor and then to D minor with F in the bass. Other than that, there are no further difficulties here. Now we come to the B section of the melody. Here we have an F with C in the bass, and if you're not playing a nylon string guitar, but like me, a steel string acoustic, it can get a bit tight for the 3 fingers on the 10th fret. That's why you should play the following melody using your ring finger, moving from the G string to the B string. Here's that bar for you. In the following bars, you should again pay attention after the E7 chord, as you'll need to briefly fret the B string at the first fret and play a small hammer-on. Here's that section again, slowly. Otherwise, there are no additional difficult parts. After that, we return to F with C in the bass, and you play. Here too, you don't need to cover all three notes on the F major triad on the D, G, and B strings. If you play an F7 chord, you can perform the melody exactly like Jeff Beck does on the recording. Here's that section again slowly. After this D sus2, you should slow down a bit in the next bar, so first play. Now the main theme is repeated and initially played a bit slower. However, it picks up speed again starting around the A minor. Here's the entire next section. Again, with the E chord, make sure to fret the G and B strings at the first fret simultaneously. Otherwise, you're just repeating what you already know. After that comes the outro, which is simply a D major chord with a hammer on, and then at the very end in the last bar, a trill. Here it is once more slowly. And that brings you to the end. As you can see, it's not too difficult, it's quick to play, you just have to memorize it and run through it a few times and then it'll work. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have suggestions for more songs, feel free to write them in the comments. Also consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the little bell so you don't miss any of my new videos. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.